Today is blind tasting day. For this video, I made my way to the Central Coast in California. There I met with winery owner and winemaker Rich Schmidt, along with his winemaking team, which consists of assistant winemaker and his daughter, Tedi Schmidt, along with winemaker Uli Bentancor. Uli received his formal wine education in Montevideo, Uruguay. Bios on all three individuals are posted in the description below. As for me, I'm Bob Paulinski, Master of Wine. I've spent more than 40 years in the wine trade, and I post YouTube videos as often as I can. For the blind tasting, 6 wines were selected by a WSET diploma level student. The corks were removed, the wines were resealed with plain glass closures or plain screw cap closures, then placed into numbered burlap bags. The tasting took place at the Moose Mountain Vineyard tasting room at the winery in Morgan Hill, California. I did a bit of editing to tighten up the content, but what you'll see is the conversation as it played out. Now let's get to the tasting. So wine number 1 has just been poured, and it's very pale yellow. It has that youthful appearance. Just by the look of this, I would say this is a wine that is very recent. And the aroma, a lot of that citrus character, green apple, a little bit of a floral characteristic. It smells all like primary fruit. What's your thoughts?
I agree completely. Definitely some floral, some citrus, and also a little bit vegetal, like fresh cut grass.
So when you say a little vegetal, are you thinking maybe Sauvignon Blanc?
Possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you really have the nose of Sauvignon Blanc, that grassy, some crystals.
Little stone fruit in there with white peach and maybe even some white, really, kind of light pear, a little bit on the firm side pear.
I mean, the aromatics, very, very lifted, fresh, good purity, good intensity. I love the way this smells, but it's taken me down the path that it's some sort of aromatic grape variety. And probably something that is very little manipulation in the winery. I mean, I think this is probably something cool fermentation, stainless steel.
Agreed.
It's to show all that vibrancy.
Yeah.
And on the palate, I mean, really lifted acidity. You can just feel it on the sides of your mouth, but bright, fresh, really vibrant. You still thinking Sauvignon Blanc?
I'm confusing about it. I think it could be Sauvignon Blanc. It could be some Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand, but also I get like a more characteristic, like some Germany wine. Maybe
I'm sorry, like
some Germany wine.
German.
Yeah.
I think of a dry Riesling or
Sauvignon Blanc comes to mind, but the color doesn't look right for Sauvignon Blanc. But it does have a little bit of like a green herbal vegetal note to it. But it's not quite like pyrazine. It's not quite like that.
I'm getting less fruit on the palate.
that acidity is so pronounced.
Laser beam acidity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just cool climate coming at you. Really.
What do you think? What do you think about the alcohol level? I mean, this is fermented dry or very close to full dryness. So I'm thinking the alcohol is maybe 12, 12.5, something, maybe 13 even.
I'm going the 13 side. I think
Okay.
it's a little more higher than 12.
It has a great mouthfeel, but I'm not getting that much alcohol, typically that I, yeah. So I'd keep it in the 12 range.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's try to work this down a little bit. I think we agree it's a very current vintage. You think maybe 22?
22.
I'm thinking 21, 22. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, I think we're all leaning towards that. In terms of the grape variety, I'm thinking more aromatic. Riesling comes to mind. For a moment, I thought maybe something like Chenin Blanc, perhaps. Pinot Blanc, but this seems a little softer Pinot Blanc would be a bit softer. Doesn't quite have the structure of something like Gewurz.
Mm-mm. No, I'm not getting that pattern at all. I still am leaning back towards Sauvignon Blanc. It really pulls me back. Even though the color's not a match, I just feel like it feels very New World-ish, kind of fresh.
So
you know?
I agree with you. I think very New World-ish. Yeah. Uli, what are you thinking?
I think it's, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's Sauvignon Blanc now. Now I'm getting back, and I think it's more like in the Riesling side. I think it's a Riesling side. I think the color is a little bit more in the side of the Riesling. I think I wouldn't expect it that bright color for a Sauv Blanc.
You know, I'm leaning more towards Riesling, but I'm an old guy, so I use the word Rolodex, but I'm going through like a mental Rolodex of all these funky Portuguese, Italian grape varieties, and I'm not really coming up with anything that really strikes a nerve.
I mean, the acidity you could glom onto Albarino and just say, yeah, I'm happy with that. But I don't know that it has enough of, the nose characteristics for Albarino. But I mean, it certainly, the acidity that's what I first thought. I'm like, where are my oysters?
I'll tell you, for me, I'm thinking Riesling.
Okay. So we have Rieslings. I'm thinking Sauvignon Blanc.
So we have two
Okay.
Rieslings.
Yeah.
But you're thinking New World Sauvignon
I'm
Blanc.
thinking
Yeah.
New World Sauvignon Blanc.
New World Sauvignon Blanc.
I'm thinking Southern Hemisphere. Yeah. I'm thinking probably 2022 Southern Hemisphere.
All right. And then
I think it's a Riesling is 2020 or 2021.
I'm going with Riesling. I think it's a very recent vintage. I'm trying to think of places. And, for me, I think it's somewhere New World.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of places in Australia because I used to live there. I've drank a lot of Australian Riesling, and it kind of has some of that characteristic where it's fermented dry. The acidity is very lifted. There's a lot of precision on the palate. But I'm also thinking Washington State.
Okay.
And I'm thinking something east of the Cascades. And so I do a fair amount of work and travel to that part of the country. And I see a lot of the Rieslings there have a characteristic that are a little bit reminiscent of like juniper or like pine.
Uh-huh.
I don't get that in this wine.
No.
But the structure of it makes me think Washington.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm kind of leaning towards Australia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Australia.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see the Australia profile in the Riesling.
And if it was in Australia, I mean, where would you go? And if you're saying Sauvignon Blanc, you're saying what, Marlborough?
Yeah, I'm saying New Zealand. So
And
yeah,
Teddy, you're thinking
I was also thinking New Zealand, probably.
Sauvignon Blanc,
Yeah.
Marlborough.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't have any guess about where in Australia. I can see the profile that you describe about Australia, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you come from Australia.
Okay. All right. We're split on it, but I think directionally we're all kind of heading the same direction. I think just we take a leap of faith and we're going in different directions.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
exciting.
Let's see what it is. 2023 Brothers at War Riesling from the Eden Valley of Australia, priced at $28. Eden Valley is like the counterpart to Clare.
Mm-hmm.
You think of but Clare tends to be very lemon lime pronounced. Eden Valley, it's if I have this right, I think it's higher elevation, cooler climate. And I think generally it has more acid, more of a floral character. I got to tell you, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
As well.
I like it. But
very fun wine.
I'll tell you, there's something about this that actually is quite Sauvignon Blanc-like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely should.
Wow.
and I think this is one of those wines where, if you're a Sauvignon Blanc fan, I think you'd love
You would
this
like
as
it.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
you can please both camps.
Yeah.
Yeah, no question.
All right, Uli, pour number 2.
Number 2. It's on the way.
And don't be cheap with the pour.
Okay.
This wine has a much different appearance than the previous. This is a deeper hue, much more depth of color. Just the appearance of this leads me to believe maybe this is a wine that has a little more age to it, maybe some skin contact, but the look of this tells me there's something else going on that's very different than wine 1.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
Teddy, you want to take the lead on this one?
Right off the bat, I am gonna put a guess out there as Chardonnay. I'm definitely getting some of that buttery, almost popcorn-like nose. Might have had some barrel time as well.
I think some barrel time, some lees stirring.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Totally.
that first wine was all primary fruit character.
Yeah.
This is secondary.
Yeah.
This is like
We're getting
something's going on.
biscuits and brioche and
Yeah. This is something going on in the
yeasty
winery.
screams in the glass.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Wow, there's this kind of earth background characteristic that is also just, I don't want to say waxy or oily or something, but there's something else besides those secondaries that are going off on tertiary.
So I'll tell you, when I think waxy or oily, and I haven't tasted it yet, but I
Jump to Semillon. No?
think of maybe like Semillon.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of what comes to
Yeah.
mind.
That's what is hitting me somehow.
But I tell you, the aroma on this, a little more muted than the previous wine, but there's a lot going on. I mean, just the way this wine smells, I don't think this is a cheap wine.
No.
I don't think so. There's a lot going on here.
Completely.
For sure, it's oak in this wine. There's a lot of influential
Has more
note.
aging time.
Yes, it does.
I'm trying to pull a fruit out, and my fruits are empty. This is so secondary and tertiary.
I mean, I think there's some stone fruit character here, but this is like a big boy. I mean, this is not for like the timid. Pretty big, intense, good ripeness. The thing that surprises me a bit, the acidity is quite lifted.
Yeah, I found that shocking as well.
You
Kind of my first step, yeah.
at first I thought, oh, is this going to be like one of these big fat butter bombs? It's
But
not.
it's not.
No.
So it could be a Chardonnay from Oregon.
If I had to choose a path, I am thinking Chardonnay. And it's only because I think of Chardonnay a little bit like chicken breast of the wine world. You can do all kinds of things with it, and this fits. It seems too obvious.
Do you feel like there was skin contact though? I'm definitely getting a more structured feel. That it's kind of. If it were a red wine and I was blindfolded, I'd say I'm feeling some nice tannins there. But I mean, there's something else besides a traditional winemaking for Chardonnay.
Could be.
They don't
that
feel like oak
press-
tannins.
They press all the grapes together with the cluster. The whole cluster. I think you have that profile too.
So, okay, let's start to whittle this down. Grape variety. I'm going to go with Chardonnay.
Stick with my Chardonnay as well.
All right. Usually, go with your first impressions. Usually the best plan.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm not getting as much of that oily, waxy, but I still feel this could be a Semillon.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going for Chardonnay from Oregon.
Okay.
Oregon.
And vintage.
I think it has some year. I will go for 2019. 2019.
Okay. I think it's a little fresher than that. I
Okay.
think it is, but
But not much.
maybe not much. Yeah, maybe not much. I would expect if it was a 19, this being 24, the wine's about 5 years old. I think the color would be deeper.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not getting an oxidative character in this wine,
No.
but I think it does have a little bit of mileage to it.
Yeah.
Where's it from?
I already.
You say New World.
You say Oregon. Okay. If we're saying Chardonnay, and we have one Semillon, you think a New World?
I'm still thinking New World. Well, actually, I don't know.
I'm going to tell you what this reminds me of a bit. Something about this actually seems a little bit like Merceau. But I'm thinking, could this be French?
Okay.
Because to me, there's a lot of the acidity being lifted, the brightness, the freshness makes me think.
Do you have some idea where located?
If I have to pick a path, I'm going to say New World.
Okay.
But I'm going to hedge my bet. And if it happens to be a Merceau, at least I said it. At least I said it.
Okay.
I'm thinking New World, and I'm also thinking this is from a cooler climate.
For sure.
I don't see this coming from California anywhere. I think Oregon is a pretty good guess. Could this be Australian?
Oof.
Think of cooler climate. Tasmania.
Yeah.
Adelaide Hills.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's Australia. I
Yeah.
don't think it's Tasmania either.
Okay. So you're saying Oregon. You're saying
Oregon.
Willamette.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say Willamette Chardonnay 21 vintage, maybe?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the Semillon?
I think the Semillon has fallen down, man. I can't get that oily anymore. I can't get it. So I will definitely shift, and I think I'm gonna shift over to the Old World. And
Okay.
Old World Chardonnay.
Old World Chardonnay.
So you're putting this in
I'm gonna put it in
Burgundy, or you
I'm
want
gonna
to
put it
say?
in Burgundy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ready? Let's see what this is. Okay, so here's the reveal on wine 2. 2021 Hidden Bench Estate Chardonnay from the Beamsville Bench, Ontario, Canada, priced at $35. That is right off of Lake Ontario. So it gives it a moderating effect, but it's a cool climate. It says non-fine, non-filtered. I don't know much about this producer, but I think this is like deluxe treatment. I think this is small, well, obviously everything there would be smaller production, but very artisanal.
It's a beautiful wine.
I feel pretty confident this has skin contact, batonnage.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pretty good kiss of new oak in this.
Yes. Totally no.
Agreed.
There's nothing cheap about the way this wine was made.
No.
If you've not yet subscribed to this channel, please consider doing it right now. Also, hit that like button and definitely hit the notification bell. That way you'll be kept up to speed on all things happening here. So the appearance on this wine, I'd say moderate depth of color. It's certainly not opaque at the core. Has a youthful color, kind of a reddish purple tone to it. Very little fade as you get out to the rim, but just the appearance of this makes me think this is a relatively youthful wine and probably a grape variety that's not bringing a huge amount of extract.
Super interesting.
Funky nose.
Mm-hmm.
So the aroma on this, I'm getting more primary fruit, pretty ripe.
Pretty
Yeah. Feels like there's maybe a little bit of elevated alcohol here.
Yes.
So maybe a little warmer area, perhaps. I like the way it smells. There's red fruit characteristic, almost a little like savory spice note.
Yeah.
Background smokiness
Definitely
that's
get
coming
the
at
savory.
me. Yeah.
Almost bacon-like?
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
smoked or tar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cooked fruit. Yeah, definitely cooked fruit.
Like a charcuterie kind of characteristic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost more so than the
Yeah, very
It's very
animal.
animalistic.
And the intensity, I'd say moderate level. I mean, there's a lot of aroma to this, but it's a lot of primary fruit. I'll tell you this, I like the way it smells.
Super funkiness. There's a lot going on for me. There's a lot going on.
Based on the color and the aroma, I haven't put this anywhere yet. Like, it's like, what the hell is this? On the palate, there's some good weight. This feels like maybe more of an opening price point sort of. I don't think this is a real expensive wine. It's simple, it's clean, fresh, there's some vibrancy, falls off on the back palate.
It does.
Quite short.
Yeah.
What do you think about grape variety?
This one's tough
Yeah.
for me.
I don't get that much from the wine.
I'm still getting good tannins. I mean,
for me, the nose is off. I don't like nose in the wine.
I mean, off like you think the wine's flawed?
No, I wouldn't say that, but I don't have that much fruit in the wine. I'm on the side like it's more like smoky, like bacon, and the palate is just wash my palate and that's it. It's gone. So
for me, this feels more old world and characteristic. Mm-hmm. It's a little leaner than what I would expect from the new world. In place of origin, I'm kind of again going through the possibilities, and my initial impression is putting this somewhere in Portugal.
Interesting.
It's got, I can't identify the grape variety, but so usually Portugal is a good place to go because there's like 260 indigenous grape varieties. This doesn't have anything that reminds me of Italian wines. I think the fruit character is a little bit too bright. Again, speaking in generalities, oftentimes with Italian wines, I think the back palate is a little more drying tannins.
Yeah. I almost could say Italian. I don't know why. Something.
All right, we're going to be all over the place on this one.
I do agree with you that I think it could be old world. Something is drawing me to Italian, like the same thing that's drawing you to Portugal.
I don't know. I'm feeling a lot of that smoke, not that much acid, and a good amount of alcohol. I just think it's more New World-ish. I really do.
Okay.
I'm
okay.
agree with you.
Yeah.
I think it's more New World.
But Teddy, you said something in the beginning, and I get what you're saying, sort of that bacon smoke.
So much so.
Okay, if you think of that, I mean, for me, the things that come to mind are like
more bed,
GSM, maybe,
Yeah.
If it's New World, maybe Australian.
Mm-hmm.
If it's French, it could be Rhone, it could be somewhere in the Languedoc.
I can see Languedoc. Now
Yeah,
that you put it, I can see Languedoc in this wine. I can taste that. The tannins are there. I can see that more.
Okay.
Dark. So the color as well.
And I'm actually moving towards your Australian. So I'm completely switching gears because I'm getting the alcohol. I do believe it's a hotter climate, is what I believe. And yeah,
well,
it's now really reminiscent of
a
GSM.
Somewhere in that GSM realm, but I gotta have Syrah in it because I'm getting so much smoke.
Yeah.
And I would say that this is still New World, and I'd probably put it in Eastern Washington.
But
wow,
you dog.
Okay.
All right. See, for me, I'm not leaning so much towards Syrah. I don't think the color's deep enough.
But I'm not saying there's not Grenache. I'm saying there's Syrah in it. I feel like there's a GSM character to it.
Okay.
I totally agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, to me, there is something here that reminds me of some Portuguese wines, but I'm thinking of like Touriga Nacional. Usually the color should be deeper. you know, Tinta Reyes, which is Tempranillo, and I don't think so. But there's so many options in Portugal. If it's not that, I'm going to say Languedoc, something like Minervois, maybe.
Yeah. Could you have some Carignan on it too?
Yeah. All right, so
I can see that.
vintage, we're calling this fairly recent.
Yeah, I'd say 2020. 2020. I think
Okay.
I'm good with 2020.
I'm thinking 2021.
Okay.
All right.
So 21.
All right, we're all over the place here. So, Uli, tell us.
So
There's going to be a lot of disappointed
bad we
people
are.
here.
yeah.
Oh, but one other question. What do you think this wine costs?
24.
32.
Okay.
I think it's less than $20.
I think it's less than $20 too. Only because I don't get a lot of oak on this wine. It's more fruit. I don't think this is very expensive. I'm going to say, like you say, around $20. 2021 Guy Mousset Côte de Rhône from the Southern Rhône Valley of France, priced at $15. Back label says 80% Grenache, 20% Syrah.
And the price is $15.
$15.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
You were right.
You know, we
got the
stumbled a little
varietals,
bit there, but
Yeah.
not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Okay, at this point, we're off to wine number 4, and very different appearance on this wine. Really pale. And even looking at the core of the wine is quite pale. As you get out to the rim, there's a significant amount of fade. So not a lot of color extract in this wine. But also when you look out at the edge of the glass, there's no browning, there's no amber color there. So again,
Pretty young.
probably something that
definitely.
doesn't have a whole lot of mileage to it. The aroma, for me, this is all red fruit. It's like that strawberry, raspberry, cherry, little perfumey.
Yeah.
Perfume, yeah.
I mean, it takes me down a path immediately, which I know is always dangerous, but first impression, I think, oh, this has to be Pinot Noir.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah, I get some florals as well in my nose. I mean, the color and the aroma, it takes me to New Zealand. It really takes me to New Zealand.
The color takes you to New Zealand.
Yes.
Okay, so you want to elaborate on that a bit?
So, I think it's close to South Island, New Zealand.
Like Central Otago?
No, not Central Otago. It's more north. It's where
Marlborough.
Blenheim,
Ah.
Marlborough.
Yeah.
I work there, and this wine take me there immediately. Immediately, I don't think it's expensive wine. I think it's. Let me keep it smelling and trying it.
On the palate, I mean, very elegant, soft, refined, kind of nuanced. I think there's a fair amount going on in this glass. The acidity seems quite lifted. So, I mean, again, you think of most, Pinot Noir is always going to come from a cooler place, but the acidity on this is quite fresh and bright. I think it's quite good. The length on the back palate, I think is pretty good. I think it's pretty good, yeah. I'm trying to think of place. There's nothing about this that says Burgundy to me. So I would toss that out immediately. I can't think of anywhere in California where you would see this style. A place like Willamette Valley, Oregon, you're going to generally get riper, fuller style. This is a place that's really delicate style wine. So I could see New Zealand. I could see Tasmania.
Okay.
I can think of some other places in Australia where this would be possible. Okay, are we 100% convinced this is Pinot Noir?
I think it's a Pinot Noir. New Zealand.
I mean, that
That
red,
color and that. the nose.
I
it's
have to go
screaming at
Pinot
me.
too.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to say yes. So we're all going to sink or swim on that.
Yeah. And then I would keep it in the New World, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're tossing Burgundy out.
Yeah.
Are we in agreement? This cannot be California.
Yeah.
I feel so. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's not California.
so we're looking at Australia, perhaps New Zealand.
I'm confident New Zealand. I'm confident with that.
Okay, so you worked in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I lived in Australia.
Okay. Let's do this.
The thing is, if I'm putting this in Australia, I'm going towards Tasmania.
Tasmania. Okay.
And the thing is, if I'm going to Tasmania, the wine's not going to be cheap because nothing is cheap there.
Okay.
But it's not necessarily aligned with quality.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Right. Yeah.
but that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and when I say it's not expensive wine, it's cheap. It's because for sure New Zealand, something north from New Zealand, they're really high quality and good quality, but they are between $20 and $30 or maximum $40. So I can see that in the wine, and I can see what expressed this wine from New Zealand, from Marlborough.
You know, I'm going to say Tasmania because I can't say the same thing as you.
Okay. Okay.
What are you thinking?
Well, since there isn't another grape growing island off of southern Australia, I'm going to go with Tasmania too, because I do think it's cooler climate.
All right.
And so I would put it down in that cooler region.
All right.
It has to be that cooler for me.
Teddy, what are you thinking?
I haven't had much experience with Tasmania, so I feel a little rigged there. So I'm going to have to go with New Zealand because I believe it's also cooler. I don't think it can be Australia. I don't think so. So I'm going to say maybe 21 New Zealand.
21 New Zealand.
Okay. All right. Let's see what it is. First off, let's hope it's Pinot Noir. Okay. 2021 hand-picked Highbow Hill Vineyard Pinot Noir from the Yarra Valley, Australia, priced at $90. Where you have some ocean influence. It's cool, relatively cool climate. Big diurnal swing from day to night. The cooler areas there, you'll find Pinot Noir grown, and I think pretty good. I think this is a really solid bottle of wine, but that price seems a bit steep.
Yeah.
But think about the world for Pinot Noir. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, they're not cheap.
Yeah.
Okay, with wine 5, completely different look versus wine 3 and 4. This has more depth of color. The core is not quite opaque. There's really no fade as you get out to the rim of the glass. I mean, immediately the color of this makes me think this is something that's rather youthful.
Yeah.
I don't think this wine has a lot of mileage to it. But the color is really quite beautiful. It's nice.
Yeah.
Deep.
The color extends really well to the edge of the glass.
Right to the edge.
And there's absolutely no browning, no amber at the rim at all. So this is not one that's got a whole lot of miles to it. The aroma, a little more muted than maybe what I'd like to see. A little red fruit, a little bit, to me, it reminds me a bit of, it's got a little bit of like a coffee ground character to it. But
Coffee ground, I get menthol in there.
a little bit of like a minty menthol thing. Yeah. The fruit character there's decent intensity to it. It's not really leading me to any grape variety. But I think this wine definitely has some oak.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it has a little of that smoky charred vanilla note to it.
I get some spices too.
Yeah, I get spices.
Like eucalyptus?
Yeah, eucalyptus.
I get some sunshine that pushed the bricks on this too. It just feels very alcoholic on the nose.
You know, the last wine had a lot of the cool climate characteristics to it. this is like completely different.
Yeah.
You know, this is an area where you're getting more warmth.
Yeah, this is a warm growing season, clearly.
What do you think, Uli?
Alcohol is there for sure. And again, I match with what I was smelling in the glass. I think they have eucalyptus note, have some spices, some green pepper.
Green pepper.
Green pepper.
So are you thinking like pyrazine, which was going to take you down like
Cab
Franc? Yeah.
I can see Cab Franc here. I can see also, I don't get that much floral, but I get some Malbec on it. Yeah. Yeah.
You said Malbec.
Malbec, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're thinking Bordeaux blend then?
I think of Malbec more plummy, a little rounder.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's speaking in very general terms.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to say, I don't think this is a single grape variety. Because I
feel it's a blend. I definitely feel it's a blend.
I'm going back to Portugal.
To Portugal. You like Portugal? You live in Portugal too?
I like Portugal. Yeah, and I'm going back there in the fall. I love Portugal.
Why?
I'm getting fruit tannins, but I'm getting quite a bit of oak tannins too.
Yeah.
You know, they're competing with me. You know,
Okay, so how old do you think this is? I'm going to say like 2018, 19.
Yeah, I would say less than 6, but right
Yeah.
at that border,
Yeah.
2018, 2017. Yeah. Could just be.
I think maybe a little younger than that because you're not getting that browning at the edge.
2020.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm thinking
19.
19, 20. Because
So,
this is probably spent a year or so in oak.
Yeah.
I've got to say, of the 5 that we've had, I'm struggling with this more than anything. This could be a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I even get some Tempranillo-is kind of background notes here.
Okay.
Kind of Rioja jumping in at me, getting a little bit of Graciano in there. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm feeling more Spanish right now.
Spanish. Okay. I'm still leaning towards Portugal. And where
You know
where are you
what?
going?
I think this is Mendoza, Argentina. I can feel like some like Cal Franc Malbec from Mendoza. But I don't know. It's a wine that it could be. It could be. I can see the Rioja. I can see some Ribera del Duero here, but
I'll tell you this. I like it,
I like it a lot.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's not jumping out of the glass saying, "Hey,
That's what I am.
you've been really quiet."
This one is tough. This one is tough. I get alcohol on this, so I do believe it's hotter climate. I think it's a blend. I don't think this is one grape. It would stump me if this was one grape.
Okay, Malbec.
Malbec or Cal could be 100% Malbec or a blend Cal Franc and San Malbec one.
And Cab Franc from Argentina,
Argentina.
is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's going to be like the
And it's
next
dark.
big
Half the
thing.
color,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. And you said
I'm going to lean towards a Spanish Tempranillo. Could be a Rioja. Could be a Graciano Tempranillo together.
okay. You got to pick your path.
I know. I'm thinking some sort of blend, and I think Cab Sauvignon's in this blend. I think that might be the dominant grape in the blend. I'm not sure where from. A hotter climate.
Okay, I'm going to go with Portugal,
Portugal.
and it's kind of a default. I'm going to put it in
Touriga.
Douro, and I'm going to say it's some Touriga Nacional Heinz 57 blend of God knows what.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think this wine's very expensive. I think this wine's maybe like $10, $12.
Wow.
Whoa.
I don't think it's an expensive wine at all. because I'll tell you this, it has density, it has some weight to it. It doesn't have a lot of nuance. There's not a lot of layers and subtlety. I think it's very well made, but I don't think this is an expensive wine.
Do you think that would develop, though?
You know, the thing is, I think there's some tannins here, and, you know, it makes me think the wine actually could have some, like it could hold. I don't think this is a wine that's going to develop into something much better than what it is today.
Interesting.
I mean, it just, you know, my 2 cents worth. But
Okay. Let's figure it out.
all right, drum roll. Let's see what we've got here. We're all over the place on this. I think we're in 4 different places. 2019 Marquis de Atrio Crianza Tempranillo Graciano blend from Rioja, Spain, priced at $13. I drank this wine a month ago at the winery. This is a shame spiral. Yeah. No, I missed that.
How can we help you? We can pick you back up. Come on. You've been guiding us so well today.
You're going to help me with wine 6.
Okay.
I'll tell you, you hit it. You even said Graciano.
It just, I felt like it was the 2. It just felt like a combo. I don't know what percentages there are, but I couldn't say Tempranillo by itself because I felt like there was Graciano in there.
You know, to really rub salt in the wound on this, the winery sent me several samples.
How much?
And the guy that put this tasting together used one of the samples because this is not a U.S. back label.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They have the Rioja label.
Yeah.
I just had this wine.
Wow.
And wine 6 is very deep in color, quite deep at the core, a slight fade at the edge of the glass, but good level of extraction on this wine. Well, the aroma on this, I'm getting a lot of this black fruit character.
Black fruit and vanilla. Vanilla just blending all the fruits together.
Makes you think there's definitely some oak going on here. A little bit of alcoholic heat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
This is definitely from a place that's getting some heat.
Yeah.
So this is a warmer region.
Mm-hmm.
The aroma, I'm getting that kind of cassis black fruit character.
It's screaming cab right now.
Jammy to me as well.
To me, it screams cab or maybe like Bordeaux blend.
Yeah.
But that's the path that's taking me down. Teddy, what's your take on this?
Just like you said, I'm getting a lot of jamminess. I'm getting dark fruit. I'm getting blackcurrant. Lots and lots of black fruit on the nose.
You think warm climate?
Yeah, I'm getting that alcohol burn in my nose, like you said.
So, okay, there is a little bit of that, but it's not pruny. It's not like stewed fruit.
No, it's still fresh fruit.
At you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that sort of baked character.
No.
It doesn't have that. I think the alcohol in this is quite high.
Yeah.
I think this is 14.5 or maybe even higher.
I agree. I think it's at least in that 14-15 range.
Still getting some pepper on it. You get some pepper, like bell pepper.
But, you know, again, isn't that really aligned with you're thinking of some pyrazine,
Yeah.
you know, bell pepper, capsicum, depending on where you're at in the world.
Yeah. Especially if the fruit is a little bit brighter, you know, there's going to be that component.
Okay.
Pyrazine.
Are we thinking new, or could this be old world? And if it is, where would that be?
I'm thinking it's more New World.
I don't feel it's old world.
I don't feel this is old world.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking Cabernet, and I do think this is Cabernet because I think it has that a little of that bell pepper. The oak characteristic is evident, but the wine actually absorbs it quite well. I think it's integrated. I think the wine is very well made. The oak it's like seamless into the wine, you know, which Cabernet really fits that sort of profile. I think, for me, I'm thinking California, crossed my mind a little bit. I was thinking South Africa.
Oh, I was just going to say that.
But I think with South Africa,
Stellenbosch area, just, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking a little bit of that. But, Washington State, the Cabernets, the structures are a little bit different. And oftentimes, Washington State, Columbia Valley remind me a little bit of red Bordeaux, which this does not. So I don't think so.
Yeah.
I like the round tannins on the first sip. It's so round and everything. But as that sip passes, those tannins are coming out even stronger and stronger. This is a youthful wine. This is definitely a youthful wine.
So we're saying warm climate. Are we in agreement, Cab?
Definitely.
Cab Sauv?
I definitely think Cab, maybe Cab Blend, but predominantly Cab.
Okay, so it's kind of in that Bordeaux world.
Yeah.
Warm climate, recent vintage. I think this is like 21-ish.
21, 22 of Southern Hemisphere, but yeah.
Uli, you're quiet.
I'm thinking. I think the wine is getting better and better in my palate. It's round in all my mouth. I'm just thinking about. I think it's two fruits in the wine. I don't think it's just Casa.
You think it's Cab Sauv and other Bordeaux grape varieties?
That tannin that's coming in, I think it's a Petit Verdot that has been it's been kissed by Petit Verdot or something just with a little bit more structure, just to say, hey, I'm here, and that's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't let the wine going off, going out of my palate. It's something stopping there, and it could be a Petit Verdot. I can totally see a touch of Petit Verdot.
A touch of Petit Verdot.
Yes.
Okay. Where's this from? We're all over the place.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back up to Washington. I'm going to go to like 90+% Cab and maybe a touch of Cab Franc and Petit Verdot. I think it's this classic Bordeaux style in New World.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
See, I'm going to lean away from Washington. I don't think the structure is right. And I'm still kind of nudging, I'm thinking South Africa again and again.
Okay.
Yeah, I see what you're saying because it was really reminiscent to me of Quilceda Creek.
Quilceda
Yeah.
Creek.
It has a Quilceda Creek-esque,
It totally
does.
Yeah. It totally does.
The
alcohol is high.
If this is Quilceda Creek, I'm packing my stuff and going home.
I think it's not 21. I think it's 2020 or 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say it could be a little bit older.
Yeah, I can taste that.
So, all right, where are we at in terms of we're saying Cab Sauv blends,
Cab,
all
a touch
Bordeaux,
of something other Bordeaux, most likely Petit Verdot, Eastern Washington.
I think it's
Pick your path.
Washington too. I say California always, but right now I don't think it's California.
Okay.
I would say Washington.
Washington. So you're saying Columbia Valley.
Columbia Valley.
Is it one of the sub-regions? You think it's Red Mountain or something?
I definitely could be. What is it? Horse Hills, or something like that, or
Horse Heaven Hills.
Horse Heaven Hills.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just has that feel to me.
All right.
Yeah.
Washington.
I'm going to stick with Washington. I am.
Oh my God. I'm good.
Okay. So reminiscent of that winery.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm getting too much in my head with it.
Yeah. Man, I thought we were creating some kind of bond here.
No, I get the
Apparently not.
climate thing. Part of me wants to stay in California.
She lets you go on the last wine. What is that?
I am going to say Stellenbosch, but I do not feel confident about it. I think this is a really warm place. And Stellenbosch can be, but I think this is a really warm place, and I wouldn't be surprised. All right, I'm going to go on the limb and say Washington, no way in hell.
Okay, all right.
What about the vintage? Where do you think it's?
I don't think it's very old.
Okay.
I tell you, the tannins are pretty tight. The way the color looks, the extension to the rim of the glass, no browning. I think this is new. I'm going to say 21 vintage with extended time in oak. And if there's something here that's a bit of a concern with aging this wine, I think the oak is a little heavy-handed. And my impression is, as this wine ages and the fruit component taps down a little bit, the oak really dries this wine out. I think this is not a wine to keep. 2021 Truth and Valor Cabernet Sauvignon Reserve from Paso Robles, California, priced at $42.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you to the good people at Moose Mountain. The venue was outstanding. Thanks for playing along with the blind taste. I think overall we did okay. Now, in terms of blind tasting, it's never easy, always humbling. Generally, it's also going to be a lot of fun. And generally, you will learn a lot as well. Now, for me, the standout was the Hidden Bench from Ontario. I grabbed that to take home. That's what I'm going to be drinking tonight. Even pulled out the big boy wine glass. Now, if you have any questions about blind tasting, please post it down below. I try to follow up on each and every one. I know I'm going to be drinking something really good tonight. I hope you are as well. And please stop back again before too long. Cheers.